السلام عليكم.
Peace be upon you all. We're extremely happy that we are all gathered here in this fantastic summit with such distinguished guests. Since we are here in the #1 country, we are the country of making the impossible possible. We are here from the land who's going to host Expo 2020, a country that raised its flag in the space here from the here from Dubai. Sustainable Dubai, sustainable in all of the details in the making of content and goals, and specifically from here, the Knowledge Summit, which have gathered all types of innovations and creations in all sorts and aspects of knowledge and science that will help human beings under the slogan of knowledge for achieving sustainable development. Today here we gather in the first session with our distinguished guests to learn more and go deeper, dive deeper into the concept of sustainability. Today we have Mr. Khaled Sharif Al-Awadi, CEO of the environment, health and safety sector in Dubai Municipality, and Mr. Youssef Lota, CEO an investor in the trade and tourism marketing in Dubai. Thank you very much for being here. We're very happy to have you here. We're going to tackle several aspects to learn more and understand more about sustainability. Mr. Youssef, my question for you in the beginning, could you please summarize the concept of sustainability, specifically in the tourism and investment sector? In the name of Allah. First of all, under the direction of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and the Cabinet, the Prime Minister and the ruler of Dubai, he wants Dubai to be a sustainable city. So thus we started working in the tourism department to have a strategic plan to achieve the sustainability goals. So sustainability in the concept of tourism is to reduce the environmental space for the tourists and the sector in general, and that would include social, environmental matters. And thanks to Allah, we, as later on, I'm going to tell you about the achievements achieved in this sector in cooperation with the competent authorities, including the municipality of Dubai, have been very great. Of course, Mr. Khaled, Dubai municipality actually did a very distinguished job and effort in the planning and implementing the strategic plans in the field of sustainability. Could you please tell us more about the initiatives done by the municipality? In the name of Allah, in the beginning, I would like to thank you for inviting me to be here. In Dubai Municipality, the concept of sustainability is about change of thinking and a change of culture and change of behavior. In the Dubai Municipality, we're basically more concerned in the infrastructure as well as environment, health, and safety. So the concept of sustainability is the continuity in working in any sector through preservation of resources, as well as reducing waste levels in general. So we are working in a comprehensive program and system. For example, if we're talking about the initiatives issued by Dubai Municipality, you need to focus on, we'll start here by the waste projects here that we're talking. It's one of the biggest projects. Is waste management is implemented it's planned in Dubai of municipality, and it's going to be implemented in 2023. It's about transforming the waste into electric energy by the average of 185 megawatt, and that is one of the biggest projects undergoing here in Dubai. Also, the transformation of the sewage waste into also energy, as well as the transformation of methane gas into other sources of energy. That's another environmental project. If we're talking about also in another project, an initiative working here in sustainability, we're talking about the safety of the food products through working on certain elements with the preservation of food products. That is done all through a comprehensive system, starting from the countries of origin up until it reaches the consumer. Mr. Youssef, there is a very important project done in the Department of Tourism, which is Dubai for Sustainable Tourism. So could you please tell us more about it? This project was developed in 2015, and it aims at reducing the carbon print in the entire section. We focused on certain sectors, the most important of which is knowledge and science. And that is going to be the result of very hard work and consistent work. So we have a comprehensive program controlled by certain laws and rules that is guiding the whole sector to learn more about sustainability in this field. We also have a comprehensive training program from the Dubai Tourism College. And the second part is the measuring of the carbon footprint. We have made an effort in cooperation with the DIWA to measure the generation of carbon for all of the hotels in Dubai. We have a carbon device to measure all of the carbon emissions in all of the hotels, and we provide them with the report so that they can monitor their own performance. Above all that, we have training and qualification programs in order to train them on how to achieve or reduce the carbon footprint at the fastest pace in various ways. For example, the 12 steps, as well as the board game, and that is actually was very successful. It has 65% of the hotel infrastructure have used this game, and they have done wonderful results. So that is our effort in the carbon emissions. And for example, in 2018, we have registered a 12% reduction from the previous records. So, Mr. Khaled, as for Dubai right now, we see that in the upcoming period, specifically that we are about to enter 2020, we can see the infrastructure and building new facilities are happening rapidly. So what was the municipality's role in the construction sector? We have comprehensive sustainability in this sector throughout a number of initiatives launched by Dubai municipality, among which is SAFAT. That's the most important initiative. It's an evaluation for buildings so such buildings would be green buildings that are eco-friendly and would save energy. SAFAT, this program was it has several phases. The first phase is that each building would win either golden, silver, or bronze, SAFA, or the prize, and that is according to their commitment to the standards of being eco-friendly buildings. Another one is the nano prints, and that is one of the initiatives done in cooperation with other authorities that is also very impactful, that has another further dimension to sustainability in Dubai. Another initiative that we're working on in green buildings, we worked on changing the culture within the people to preserve energy, so that, for example, even the small storage would work on saving energy. So we need to change the culture, change the mindset, and that's what we're working on through workshops, through initiatives that we're doing, through the visits that we conduct. We would like to change the mindset in order to help with the sustainability initiatives. While setting such plans and lectures in order to educate the community and society about sustainability, did you have a high turnout from the citizens? And the visitors or the citizens of the UAE, were they aware? Did you face any type of resistance? Did you accept this, or they were a little bit reluctant to implement such new rules? Of course, any new thing has some sort of resistance. It might be a little bit difficult. So some people might think that if I go green, then that may cost me more. But we explain them that you would start from the get-go to work on certain things. For example, if you're working on, for example, having a decorational green landscape in your buildings, that would help. So we don't force them to do certain elements. Of course, some aspects are mandatory because we'd like to preserve energy and the sustainability of all aspects. But there are other aspects, specifically when it comes to our fellow nationals and citizens living here. We'd like to discuss it with them and try to convince them. So, because if the people don't change their culture, we won't be able to implement sustainability programs. So the owner of the building, the owner of the house, should change their own culture. The own mindset. That's the most important thing. And we have gone enough. We have taken a very good strides in this regard. For example, a number of companies are coming to us who would like to know more about the programs of sustainability, and that's the most important thing with Safat. There are other companies asking us to go and evaluate their buildings and assess their buildings. So the engineers would go for the inspection, and we have one of their representatives, the owner's representative, with us so that they can understand the process of how the evaluation goes and the assessment goes, so that they would learn more. Therefore, we have this assessment that is, of course, done for the buildings, and that is to match and be in alignment with the international standards. So, of course, you have your own strategies, and of course, one of the most important elements of such strategies are sustainability, specifically in infrastructure and buildings and construction. My question for you is that currently we're in the age of technology. Everything is undergoing through technology. Our interaction with it is now very much fun and enjoyable. So what's the role of technology in the tourism sector? The global tourist currently would make their own decisions through the applications, through the websites. So in order to reach the global tourist in China is different from how to reach the Western tourists. So because we work on different systems, so we have different platforms for marketing to various types of tourists. So at the same time, we would like to also introduce responsible tourism and green tourism to the global tourists. So all of the global tourist agencies were having their own programs to work on this regard. They carry the responsibility. For example, one of the huge tourist and travel companies, they have prevented all of the plastic bottles and any non-recyclable products from their hotels. And we work also from the sustainability issue or the sustainability projects. We have the sustainability of the future competition. So this futurism program, we're working it in alignment with DITEX, and one of the winners, we had two winners. They split the prize. Pure chance. Both of them were having a role in sustainability. One of them is a comprehensive entity for self-productive energy to provide lighting into public spaces and public areas, and the other one is a heart control and monitoring device that is working in cooperation with the AI. So it also, both of them are working with AI. They control lighting, energy, and so on. They have various applications for their products, and we're going to implement these and enlist them or let them work in the hotels. So we always work in cooperation with the private sector. We take their opinion on what new ideas they would like to add to their workings. So in 2020, we are going to enact most of the current approved laws. For example, the sustainability standards for hotels. It's going to be implemented, and once they are implemented, this is going to expedite the sustainability process in all aspects, starting from management to procurement, waste management, energy preservation, as well as the social aspect for the societal aspect as well. So we started also to train all of the workers. Basically 70% of the facilities have been trained on the new regulation that was not implemented except to support the initiatives done by Dubai Municipality and DIWA, as well as the Higher Council for Energy under the guidance of our leadership. So my question is for both of you. I'll start with you, Mr. Khalid. I will give Mr. Youssef a break. So what's the most important, how much is it important to cooperate between or coordinate between energy and the government? Actually, partnership is a very important thing. We need to complement each other, whereas from the private sector, legislative, as well as law enforcement authorities. So I would always say that we are an implementing or executive authority, but it's very important to work in cooperation with the legislative division, because they are the ones who provide us with the rules and laws. So sometimes we have amended some type of the lab tests and assessments according to the, for example, the
ابتداء وانتهاء. غيرنا المفهوم العام
according to the new law for the expiry dates. So we have adopted this new system and we provided it to the standards department, and that is also participating regionally because we have saved a lot of the different types of food products, and we've minimized waste amount, and that of course is adding to the issue or our program with the sustainability. And that here comes the cooperation and the complementation of each body of each authority's role comes to play. There, we currently working with the food bank, with the we are cooperating with them because that's a very important institution working on reducing the waste of food products. We created certain mechanism, and hotels actually participated a lot in this regard. I would like to thank the tourism department for their effort in this, because they also worked a lot on how do they manage the extra food that they don't need anymore, and how to manage that. And we were able to give it to families who are in need. We found some other type of waste that is recyclable, and that all of these elements that haven't been studied before, now they are going within the system, and that is also happening between the private and public sector. That's the importance of partnership. The most important part in partnership is the economic success. If there is a very successful economic opportunity, first of all, we'd like to invest in it, because that would increase the level of confidence and trust between the partners and the stakeholders. So sustainability as a concept and its implementation in the sector in general, previously that was very costly and expensive. For example, the lighting bulb and the LED years ago, for 10 years ago, we used to cost 200 dirhams. But now, due to the economy of scale, it would only cost 5 or 10 dirhams. And that is implementing on everything. So now those who are going to adopt sustainability are going to reduce their cost.
فسوينا
That's why we have introduced the retrofitting program. Around 650 hotels have been established before the Green Code issuance and implementation at this sector. That's why out of those 650 hotel facilities, when I started implementing this at the Department of Tourism, we had 60,000 rooms. So one of the main points was how to increase capacity. Now we have 120,000 rooms. So we are at the onset, almost at the onset of Expo 2020 Dubai. We anticipate 25 million visitors. The impact that they will make should be accommodated, and we have to preserve our environment and our resources to the post-Expo era with the exponential growth of population in Dubai. So our retrofitting applications now, we have solutions to hotels and funding by private entities that finance retrofitting and the restructuring of hotels to infrastructure that is eco-friendly, and in turn they save money and without making any major capital investment by investors. So we have many such examples, and the payback period ranges from 2 to 3 years in those hotels. That's why we're witnessing more and more support to this program. Thank you. This is wonderful to know. I would like to open the floor to questions. If you have any question, please feel free to ask any questions that you have in mind. Do we have any of the attendees who would like to pose a question? Before we conclude this session, I have a question in mind. We, the people of the UAE, we are considered an icon for the entire world, and we are at the beginning almost of 2020 Expo. And sustainability is our slogan today. Mr. Youssef, what would you like to say at the conclusion of this panel discussion? I would like to thank the great efforts exerted by Mohammed bin Rashid Knowledge Foundation by hosting this international event, and the participation of Mr. Khalid in this wonderful discussion. What really matters in this context, from our perspective as human beings, first and foremost, before we are UAE citizens or so, we are human beings, and we have the responsibility of preserving our resources. Irrational utilization of resources is rejected. So we have to rationalize our consumption, and we need to observe what we do and pass down this wisdom to the posterity and to the upcoming generation, as highlighted by the former president of Iceland. If we do not observe our own resources, we will drown at the end of the day. May God protect us. Mr. Khalid, I would like to say that our very icon and the beacon that we represent has to do with our integration, and that we integrate the roles of one another. Our understanding in this context will boost innovation and creativity. And actually, the key of success to any project or to any entity is to start to be innovative. If you can innovate and be creative, this is the key to success. We can work on a daily basis, but if we do not ensure that we have a creative way of working, if you don't change your style, if you don't change your approach, you will not succeed. That's why creativity and innovation are the keys to success. If we are keen on this, on our daily work, we will achieve many things. This is the objective, and God willing, this will be the beacon of our success with our working together in collaboration. Thank you, God willing. The message that we'd like to convey today from this platform is that our role is not restricted to conveying this role and conducting this role, but conveying this message to our future generations, because they are the ones who will inherit this planet. Our role is to teach them today so they would protect this planet In conclusion of this panel discussion, we always remain willing to learn more and more, and from the land of knowledge and from the knowledge summit, we obtain further knowledge. We're happy to meet you. Thank you, and peace be with you.